What is going on, everyone? It is SummerSlam weekend, and we still got to talk about night 2. Probably, to me, the weakest night by card of the 2 nights, but we can be wrong. After all, it may look bad, not the greatest on card, but the actual showing can be amazing. There are a few matches I'm excited from here. And there's one particular match I'm very upset about that I've talked previously about. Well, not upset, more like not excited for it. Downright, how we got here is kind of annoying about it. And then what happened last night just put me over the edge that now I'm kind of pissed off. But we can talk about that lightly, and we will probably do another video about that. So without further ado, let's get through the nights of each one. For night 2, please, if you haven't yet, check out our night 1 SummerSlam video. It is already up on the channel, and if you can be kindly, like the video, as it helps us grow forward. So let's get to it. So as always, when I do these, I am not trying to do a prediction. I can tell you who I think should win, but I'm not gonna do a whole prediction video. That's not the point of these videos. These videos is more like, let's talk about how we got here. I like figuring out the match order because I think that is a very tactical thing you have to do, making the right order of these matches to help the crowd get excited, have time for them to cool off after a very exciting match, and then cool off, get excited again. Trying to keep that momentum in the show so when you watch it on TV, it looks like it's a jam-packed weekend. But we will do that, as well as which match I'm excited for. I do a rating out of 5. Not a big deal. Take it for what's worth to you. But as always, this is my opinion. I'm not a booker. I'm not anything. I'm just letting you know as a fan what I'm excited about in night 2. And I did this same thing for night 1. So the first match I think is going to happen is the Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio match. And I think this is one of the 2 matches that they're going to do in the first ESPN free hour that you can catch, I think, in either ESPN or ESPN2, depending on what they advertise it as. On the June 15 episode of Monday Night Raw, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan unsuccessfully attempted to pay Danhausen $100,000 to curse Oba Femi, the opponent of her on-screen boyfriend, as we all know, and Judgment Day stablemate Dominic Mysterio. Now, in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament, Danhausen subsequently stole the money instead and cursed the entire group, the whole Judgment Day. We're talking Morgan, Mysterio, JD, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne. And because of that, they went on a losing streak for the past couple weeks. Then at Saturday night's main event at MSG, Danhausen defeated McDonough in a no DQ match, and it was a weird one. It had the Knicks, we had one of our Knicks player help him out and so forth, and then they had a bunch of mini-Hausens and so forth to help him out. Then on the following Raw, Danhausen and the Judgment Day continued to fight over the money and the whole money stipulation, and it was and then it was announced that Danhausen and Mysterio would face each other at SummerSlam, Dominic Mysterio, where the winner will keep the $100,000. So that's set. The match is now scheduled for night 2, which is on Sunday. And then on the final Raw before SummerSlam, which was this week, Danhausen had a whole concert that pretty much the whole world, I think at this point, hates, with the whole song thing that they did with Joe Henry. I believe that "You Are Cursed" whole thing that is probably embedded in everyone's head for the forever future of probably one of the worst Raws this year. Not just for that segment, but for many things. But that's one of the biggest things that pretty much put it over for everyone. Now, during that segment, Danhausen was attacked by Mysterio and McDonough, and then eventually in a backstage scene, Raw general manager Adam Pearce then stated that Danhausen should return the money to Mysterio. However, as you guys know, Danhausen declines because he's greedy as fuck, and instead stated that he wanted his match against Mysterio to be a human Muniz on a pole match, which Pierce said whatever, he agreed, and he said he wants to get a drink. Now, knowing how WWE is and the whole mentality of how Triple H books things and puts people over, if the crowd is going to be always cheering and merch sales wise, Danhausen's going to be a great magnet for that. He's going to put with what the majority of the crowd is going to bend over. So if a lot of people are following Danhausen, he's probably going to win this match. As much as I hate it, he's going to win this match. The problem is, and this is the big problem with him winning, Dominic Mysterio is currently the Triple H to AAA. He is currently the AAA Mega Campeón champion. And by the looks of it, he's going to have a scheduled match at Triple Mania against El Grande Americano. We don't know which night it will be. It would be great at night 2, do it in Mexico. The Mexican crowd loves these two. They would be on their feet throughout the match. So if they're going to do it, definitely do it night 2. It has to be night 2. It's the last match. It's the last night. So him losing to Danhausen would put a big black cloud over Dominic Mysterio and Triple Mania. I know it's two different entities, but the fact that the Mega Champion of one of the biggest lucha libre promotions out there, next to CMLL, lose to the Danhausen gimmick just puts it badly. Now, if Mysterio needs to win with Judgment Day getting involved, and not only Judgment Day, maybe the people he's teaming up at AAA to beat him, and maybe this story even continues that Danhausen gets revenge at Triple Mania, maybe by helping El Grande Americano down there, fine, do it, whatever. But he should not lose. Every member of Judgment Day can lose, but Mysterio can't lose because he is the champion right now. He needs to win because it does a sour taste for Triple Mania, and that's honestly my opinion. How he wins, if he has to lie, cheat, and steal, fine. That's the Eddie Guerrero way. He's proclaimed Eddie Guerrero's son. Do it. But he can't lose to Danhausen. That's all I'm going to say. Now, in terms of excitement level, because of the Danhausen gimmicks getting stale, in my opinion, this is a 2 out of 5 match. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be stupid. It's going to have all these weird shit happening throughout the match. So I'm indifferent. It's a match that if I miss it, I'm not going to be caring. All I care about is Dominic winning. Dominic needs to win. Look at him in this photo. He's not even excited about this match. You can see it right there. He's like whatever face. If you let him stay in AAA for the rest of his contract, he is probably going to be okay with that because they are not doing any justice for him. He has slowly been degrowing in the promotion for the past year in the main roster, but he's been doing so fine. He's been doing okay at AAA. So keep him there. If you don't have no use for him, let him go because it's not fair for him because he's grown so well as a performer that you guys just suddenly, because you're all hotting about Danhausen and you're gonna jeopardize Dominic's career for that, it's messed up. So just let him go. That's it. So 2 out of 5 for this one. Now the next match, which is I think it's gonna close the ESPN free hour, is this match between Finn and Sammy for the #1 contenders match at the undisputed WWE Championship, which probably is going to happen at the next PLE. Or maybe they'll do it on a Raw and give us a free one. Who knows? So how this came about, as you guys know, at Night of Champions, Sami Zayn won the undisputed WWE Championship. However, he lost the title just 9 days later to a returning CM Punk at the Chicago Raw show. And then at Saturday night's main event in Madison Square, Zayn and Gunther teamed up to face Punk and Cody, where they had the stipulation if Gunther and Zayn won, they would be added to the Punk and Rhodes match at SummerSlam for a fatal 4-way for the undisputed WWE Championship. Unfortunately, they lost to Cody and Rhodes at SummerSlam thanks to Nick Aldis interfering, who attacked Gunther, and that storyline happened. And unfortunately, Sami Zayn was high and dry with nothing to do. So then on that week's SmackDown, Zayn demanded to the temporary general manager, Adam Pearce, for him to be inserted in the Punks and Rhodes match. However, Pearce declined and announced that at SummerSlam, Zayn would face the winner of a fatal 4-way match later that night to determine the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship, which Zayn reluctantly accepted. So that fatal 4-way match happened, and Finn Balor was the winner. So whoever wins this match, it will be facing whoever's the winner of Cody versus Punk at a future event. Who knows? It might be in Saudi. I don't know. It has to happen before, I guess, Crown Jewel. So whoever that winner is, the Crown Jewel, the undisputed and the heavyweight champ go against to crown this year's Crown Jewel champion, because that still needs to happen. So, I mean, these are two great performers. I'm sure it's going to be a great match. That's why I think it should be the one closing off that free hour. It gives that incentive like, hey guys, if you get that ESPN Plus, you can catch another these goodie matches. So I'm sure they'll do their best in this match. I'm like mid for this match. I think a 3.5 out of 5 excitement for this match. I'm sure they'll do well, but is it a heavy base storyline match? Not really. It's more towards Sammy's side of a storyline. He's trying to get back to that title opportunity. Who I think should win? Honestly, I would rather them both face the champion and just make it a triple threat, because Finn's been wanting a top title opportunity for a while, but I feel like Sami Zayn was cheated. Honestly, I would love both to happen, but if you want to play predictor, it's probably going to be Finn. I don't think they're going to give Zayn another opportunity for a while, unless he does get the opportunity and he wins the belt and goes to Crown Jewel as the champ to face for the Crown Jewel championship. That will be a wild story, like a wild redemption story that writes itself, but I don't think WWE has the capacity to it. I think the crowd is more behind Sami Zayn than Finn Balor, but I don't know. It would be nice for, I honestly feel like Finn Balor deserves his time too, but we'll see. But 3.5 excitement out of 5. So it's going to be a good closing match, I think, this one. Now, talking about closing, well, we need to open up the ESPN Plus segment, the paid segment of SummerSlam. I think they need to open it with a banger match, and I don't think any match would be banger enough than this one. Chad Gable versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship match. A finalization of Chad Gable's career and moment is up to this point. Let's get to it. Now, on the July 13 episode of Raw, Chad Gable won a gauntlet match to earn the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Penta at SummerSlam and in Gable's hometown of Minneapolis. This setup is a rematch between these two from the January 2025 match and when they did the Raw premiere on Netflix. So it's like a whole rematch. So they're on their second match of their, they'll probably have a third one after this. Penta defeated him and then heel Chad Gable during his Penta's debut match, which ultimately led Gable to go through this storyline, which I explained it in a previous video. If you haven't yet, check it out. It's one of our best videos to date in this channel. I am not the greatest editor, but like I swear, that's probably one of my best videos, and it's not even liked here, just here. It's liked globally. So it's one of my first videos that hit internationally. So I appreciate everyone that liked and commented on that video. Beautiful. I'll link it in the description. So Chad Gable went through this whole arc of trying to learn about the Lucha way so he can defeat him eventually, but also to gain all the abilities. He wanted to suck the abilities from the Lucha heritage, which is what he explained. And during that feud with the Grande Americano, this ultimately led Gable to become the original Grande Americano, as you will know. And he had this whole heel arc as the original Grande Americano. He got hurt, unfortunately, but then they turned that opportunity into even more gold by putting another person that we don't know at this point as the other Grande Americano, which led to that whole amazing feud in AAA. Had that amazing match earlier this year in May, and it was a great match. He got unmasked, and it led to the original Grande Americano, Chad Gable, coming to respect Lucha Libre after he was unmasked in May. And after that, he went through a whole apology tour, apologizing to his original bandmates, Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Otis. Maxine becoming heel didn't accept it. Regardless, he apologized to Ray, apologized to Penta. The luchadors are now respecting him. So it's a coming to moment, which makes sense. Like if he went to learn the Lucha way to learn how to beat him, it only makes sense that Chad should be winning this match. And I think it's going to happen. He's going to have his home moment in Minnesota. And maybe this whole thing was planned from the beginning. I'm sure Triple H and everyone say, oh, we planned this since day one, yada, 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 yada. They probably did plan this, because they knew Minnesota was going to host SummerSlam 2 years ago. They probably said, we'll give you this moment in Minnesota, but you have to do all this shit for us. And he did. And it was a great moment for him. And I think everyone's behind Penta and Chad, but they all want Chad to win. Maybe eventually he'll drop the belt to Penta and they'll have their rubber match. But I think this is a great moment for Chad. I am going to be rooting for him. I love to death Penta, but I need Chad Gable to win. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great match. I think there's going to be a banger opening if they use it as the opening. So let's hope for the best. All right. So we go from a very hot match. We need to cool down the crowd. This is the match that's going to do it. It's going to be Trick Williams versus a returning Baron Corbin for the United States Championship. On the July 10th episode on SmackDown, Baron Corbin, who had left WWE in November of 2024 after his contract expired, made a surprise return to WWE by attacking Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes before holding up Williams, title, signaling his intention to challenge for the title. Then a few weeks later, on SmackDown, went off the air, Corbin once again attacked Williams, leading the champion to challenge him to a match title at SummerSlam, which Corbin accepted. Corbin believes that he probably can do better with this title than anyone else, so they made it official, and that's where it goes. By the way, while this video was happening, I got a notification of Chad Gable's being interviewed in the What You Want to Talk About podcast with Cody Rhodes. Chances are, just from that alone, you know Chad Gable's winning. Like, this one is probably the most obvious match that we can predict. If you want to be predictors, this is the obvious prediction that's going to happen. So anyway, this match, honestly, I love Trick Williams, but 1 out of 5 excitement. I'm sorry, Baron Corbin, I'm not a fan of. I loved him in the black and gold NXT era, but ever since then, with all these multiple different gimmicks they put on him, and shout out to him for working with it, he lost that edge. Maybe he's gaining that edge back, but I don't know. He looked so much more threatening with the hair and all those like that motorcycle look than he does now. So I don't know, man. I hope Trick Williams wins. He needs to keep going. They need to grow his stock. He is more important than Baron Corbin right now. No offense to Baron Corbin. You had your moment to do it through Vince era. Vince didn't do it you a favor. They need to keep Trick going. Unless the intent is that Trick Williams will eventually go for the heavier titles, the top tier titles, and they're gonna put him towards that path for next WrestleMania season, then fine. But if they have no freaking plans for that, keep him in this title and just make the best out of it. The fact that they feather up his belt just says enough how much he's worth for this championship. He is probably our next big roster star, and they need to be very careful in how they do it. So him losing to Baron Corbin will be ass. So 1 out of 5, just because I'm not excited. It's the whatever match of the night. Let's talk women's interim. Now, I've done a video before about this interim situation, and you guys, if you watch that video, you know my thoughts. If not, I'll link it in the description. This should have just been for the title itself. They should have stripped it from Rhea. We shouldn't be having an interim title. Just strip it. That's number one annoyance about this. The second annoyance, I'm fine with whoever's competing, but the fact that Lash Legend got her spot with a 2-minute botch to one of the greatest women performers in the roster, Julia, it is a crime. It is a crime because Julia is a very good wrestler. She shouldn't be going through that. If you want to put some other person, then they should have done that. But the fact that you did it to Julia is disrespectful as fuck. Julia does not deserve this. She is a top tier. She is up there with Io. If you want to compare like that, she is up there with Rhea. You can give her the mic. She is working her best and her hardest to be able to equal the mic skills as some of these women here in terms of language barrier. And she's doing a good job. She's doing better than Io, in my honest opinion. She's doing way better than Io, yet Io's getting the top performance. She won the Queen of the Ring. If everyone's going to say in the comments it's because Julia has a language barrier, Io Sky right now is going for the title against Liv Morgan, and she won Queen of the Ring. Barely any good promos for that match, and you're telling me Julia is because she has a language barrier? Get the hell out of here. No. If you're gonna say, oh, because her hair looks like an old lady now, no. Some people are enjoying that look. It doesn't matter her look. We had freaking Fabulous Moolah, older than all these women combined, being champion, and she looked like an ant, and we were okay with that back then. Do not give me the fact that her hair looks different and you don't like it is the reason that she shouldn't get a title opportunity like this. It is a freaking crime. If you want to take anyone out of this roster right now, honestly, as much as I love Charlotte, and Charlotte's not going to get this opportunity. She might win this, but Charlotte puts over people. She's in the path of putting people over, which she is probably happy with. And she is okay with getting the belt if it means putting someone over like she did with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39. But she, if anyone can give up her spot, Charlotte will, and she will give it to Julia. Chelsea definitely should get an opportunity. Tiffany Stratton, in all honesty, she should probably be the first one to drop her spot because she is the U.S. Women's Champion right now. She should be having her own match. But the fact that she's not defending the belt, it's not my problem. She should be out. Put Julia in her spot. If anyone should go out first, it's her. Now, I know everyone hates Jade Cargill. Everyone's hating on Jade Cargill. I understand because she has not developed the skills the way you would expect her. Her mic skills, she is confident as fuck, but she is not developing her skills. or whatever you want to call it. I understand. But the more exposure she gets in the ring, the more opportunity she will get to perform better. Now, if it still doesn't work after all this time and after the end of her contract, then fine, let her go. But during the time of her contract, give her the most exposure she can so she can become a champion. Now, if it's hurting your roster to a point, then demote her to NXT and make her learn the hard way. But do not think she is not worth the stock of WWE, because she is getting women to watch, women like her, women with her body physique and athletic ability to watch this product. And of course, WWE is okay with that, and they're going to put her in the match. But to a fair point, she should be getting better with her craft. And if she doesn't, put her in NXT. And if it still doesn't work, when her contract's up, kick her out. But she should have this opportunity. I think Tiffany Stratton should have been defending her title to other recent women like Blake Monroe. Where's Blake Monroe? She's been how many weeks not in the main roster and she barely show up? Her and Tiffany should be having a match at SummerSlam. Like, I get Tiffany is her hometown, but she should be defending her title. That is a better opportunity for her to get her own spotlight one-on-one. But you disrespected Julia. For what? She is so athletically gifted. She is such a great performer. If her mic skills isn't great, put more time on her. How much money WWE you have that you can give her a personal person to, or a talent person that can help with mic skills day in, day out for all these performers? Stop cheapening out. Get the people that can help them be better. Julia is willing to be a worker. Anyway, in regards to this match, I don't give a crap who wins this, because it's gonna be whoever is willing to drop the belt to Rhea when she comes back, because that's what's gonna happen. Now, in terms of the backstory of this, if you guys know, with the interim, after at WrestleMania 42, Night 2, Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill to win the WWE Championship, which gives her the reason to be in this match. Ripley retained the title in a rematch at Clash of Italy, but during that match, apparently she did a torn meniscus injury, and due to that injury, SmackDown following the event on July 17, the general manager Adam Pearce confirmed that Ripley would not compete at SummerSlam. Instead, it was announced that an interim championship would be crowned until Ripley's return, determined by a 5-women ladder match at SummerSlam. Which I'm like, okay, sure. I already spoke my piece about the interim idea. You guys can check out that video. Then they had a series of qualifying matches from between then and last night, where Tiffany Stratton and Cargill advanced, defeating Jacy Jayne and Nia Jax, respectively. And then Cargill advanced after Charlotte Flair attacked her, causing a disqualification win in Cargill. Jax was then given another chance in qualifying match on the following week's episode against Flair, and then who also won disqualification after Cargill's interference. And then on that episode, also Chelsea Green qualified by taking down Kiana James, which is another disrespect to another upcoming star, but it is what it is. Then the ladder match was then scheduled. It's being scheduled for Sunday. And then the night before SummerSlam, as you know, Lash defeated Julia in a quick-ass match. Now, this is the ladder match, and the fact that Julia is not in this match just says even more. Julia can probably outperform anyone here in that ladder match. Lash Legend's gonna have a hard time doing this. She's a tall wrestler, Jade, and is gonna have a hard time. I mean, Charlotte's done ladder matches before, I believe, so she will be fine. Chelsea and Tiffany are going to do crazy spots, especially Chelsea. That's the reason Chelsea is in this match. She's going to create high spots, but Julia should have been in. Anyway, I'm indifferent. It's probably going to be just the excitement factor that is a ladder match, so 3 out of 5 excitement, maybe 2.5, to be honest. It's whatever. Let's move on to the next one. Our main event is going to be for night 2 is Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns. June 29 episode of Monday Night Raw. As you guys know, Seth Rollins confronted World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns after everyone found out that Obafemi was not going to use his King of the Ring opportunity. Rollins, who's never lost a World Heavyweight Championships when he held it last, had to vacate the title in October 2025 due to an injury. He claimed that Reigns possessed something that belonged to him because he never got an opportunity to get it back. Now, Reigns rejected this assertion, arguing that Rollins had not earned a title shot. Rollins countered by insisting he had always dominated Reigns since striking his back with a steel chair back in 2014 and ultimately ending their Shield stable. He then offered Reigns a chance to defeat him in what might be his last chance. Which, you know, Reigns, being the cocky man he is, why would he turn down such an opportunity? Reigns responded that he wanted his entire family to witness him defeat him before accepting Rollins' challenge for the title at SummerSlam. So obviously you're going to see probably Rollins' full family, but this match is scheduled for night 2. Honestly, Rollins should get the title back. I mean, I think when Reigns won this belt back in WrestleMania 42, he said he'll be here all summer, quote unquote. Take that as you may. Summer's almost ending, so unless he drops it at the next PLE that shows up, which I don't think he's going to be at, right? Reigns should lose to Seth Rollins, and then Reigns can go to his sunset tour or whatever. He can walk to sunset until WrestleMania or Royal Rumble shows up again, and he can come back saying, do his thing. Anyway, love Roman Reigns, but his title reign for this one has been ass. He hasn't done much, didn't fulfill his promise. He said he was going to be on every Raw until the end of the summer. He could have ended it right here on SummerSlam, but he didn't. That's why he hasn't had great storylines. It hasn't been great. He had a weird thing with Jacob Fatu. I'm indifferent. This is going to be a banger match. Don't get me wrong. These two are going to go toe to toe. It's going to be like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 42 night 2, if not better. So I expect this. I'm 4 out of 5 excitement. It's not like I'm dying to see this match, but they could have built this story better. The storyline could have been built better. Their interaction and on Raw this week was mid. It could have been better, but it wasn't. It is what it is at this point. Now we're just here to see the show, what happens. It's going to be a banger match, but the storyline leading to this could have been so much better, and I expected these two to have done it so much better and show everyone below them, everyone younger than him, saying like, this is how you build a main event. And because they didn't, no great lesson was given to the younger talent. They could have said, everyone is going to become an upcoming champion to go after this prize. Look what you have to do to get this prize. Look at how we built a storyline to get this prize. But they didn't. So unfortunately, that's where we're at. But 4 out of 5 excitement. And overall, like I said, this might be a mid SummerSlam by card. Not so great. But when the performance comes down, it might be the greatest night. We will find out which one's going to be the best night 1 or night 2. We'll see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are you more excited about in the night 2 card? Let me know your thoughts and which night you think will be the better night in this week's SummerSlam weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. And as always, if the tea hit right, hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.